Thank you very much, Dr. Simons, Professor Swaminathan, other panelists who are here, ladies and gentlemen. I am very pleased to speak a few words in regard to agroforestry on this occasion. And I'd like to thank the organizers for asking me to be a member of this panel. I think from morning there has been a lot of information given to us by various speakers on the benefits of agroforestry. I believe you must have heard in the inaugural session itself, His Excellency the President, then the Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Energy, Forest and Energy, spoke on this subject, elaborating all the benefits that were there, all known to people like us who are gathered here on soil improvement, food security, land degradation, sustainable land management and so on, were extensively discussed. Therefore, I would not like to go and repeat that once again in this ordinance. I'd like to add some points to what Professor Swaminathan and Dr. Tiwari spoke just now in regard to this session. One of the things that Professor Swaminathan said is that you can grow a lot of crops like moringa, like amla, other crops as well. Large number of crops as agroforestry species can be grown, and I don't think there's any issue about that. Depending on the locations, depending on the agroecologists and so on, one could grow those crops. The issues that make agroforestry less adaptable was mentioned by the Secretary just now, and that has been a question that has been raised at these meetings regularly. Why this lack of adoption is by the small farmers? I believe, like in any other industry, agroforestry is also sort of an industry. Like agriculture is not a way of life like what we are used to in the past, but it is an industry. Now, if you take that as the point, which was not mentioned before in this Congress, I like to say that agroforestry, if it is to become popular as a system in our countries, in South Asia, Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America and so on, agroforestry must be looked at differently, like any other crop, like an industry or commerce approach to agroforestry. Now, for instance, Dr. Swaminathan said that moringa is a crop that could be grown. Now, amla is a crop that is grown. It is true it is grown in that manner. But if I take it differently, now moringa is a crop that could be used in the industry, not as just food security, not to feed people, just to get over their hunger. That is not the only aim of agroforestry systems. Now, that crop, moringa, a very important crop, can be grown industrially, and it can be used to extract oil. I hope you know that moringa oil is one of the best oils that could be used in the perfume industry. So, if you have small farmers, still it is possible to grow it in an industrial scale, because you can make always a network of growers to make the production bigger. So, that is one of those things that I am saying. If you take amla, in India, amla is an industrial crop. It is an agroforestry species. Similarly, if you take herbs of all kinds, then those are used in various things, Ayurvedic medicines, various other cosmetics, lotions and so on, they are extensively used. So what is that you are doing? Now we are making agroforestry into an industrial situation. And that is kind of a change that I think we must look at from the traditional way of looking at agroforestry for the sake of food security, to feed people. That is not the only way that this could be done. If anything to become popular in our countries, then it must have the ability to make money. It must be something that the people, the smallholder, can make money out of it, and that is something that I believe this Congress must focus on, and that it requires then immediate need to look at the markets. If there is no market, these markets could be created. That is how new products come into the markets, and those are done by companies, and they explore markets. They see where the potential is, and that is what I am saying, that then in the case of agroforestry systems, to become more popular among the farmers, the growers, the smallholders in our countries, there must be definitely a very important aspect of market research that should go into each of these crops and see what is the potential of these crops before you start to grow them. If you start to grow them and you can't sell them, then thereafter I don't think anybody will go grow agroforestry once again. So that is one of the things that I like to add to what has been going on here from morning. Second issue I would like to focus is on how agroforestry can be done without the animal component. Now, nothing was mentioned in the morning here. Nobody spoke about livestock. Biogas was mentioned just now by someone. But I think if a system is to operate, especially with smallholders who rear animals like cattle, goats, sheep and so on, this is the way that it could operate. If you are going to go into organic farming, organic agriculture, then the livestock component becomes very important, and that is something that could always make money for the systems. Not only money, it could also provide the families with nutritious milk, which could be used to feed their children and the household. That's the second point I like to make. Because of the lack of time, I will cut off the other things, but one thing that is more important to me now is this climate change. Now, climate change has been spoken from morning till now. Everybody who spoke today spoke about climate change. It is coming. It is obvious. In our countries, we can see that. Now, the question is, there are two ways they say to overcome this climate change. One is to mitigate, breed the varieties and so on to mitigate this effect of climate change. And those are very difficult ones. Breeding a crop to mitigate climate change, drought resistance, extreme heat events, plants can't survive. They are going to succumb to that kind of heat. If it is about 34, 35 degrees centigrade, the plants, the flowers does not even pollinate. You will not get fruits if you have fruits and nuts and so on on trees. For instance, in coconut, if the temperatures go about 34 degrees or 35 degrees, the pollination is very poor. Then you don't get nuts. So the climate change issue, one thing that agroforestry systems can do is to adapt to this system, adapt to this climate change effects on agriculture. Now, what is the way to adapt to this? Now, everyone is saying adaptation is good, agroforestry can help, but no one is telling us how to do it. Now, what is the way to adapt to this climate change? Now, in this case, I believe a lot of research is required. Research is being done everywhere, but I don't think they focus on any particular aspect. They focus on general things. Most of the people, what they do is to look at temperature and rainfall, and they start to forecast climate change. But then that is not what we require. We require an answer to the question that is facing us. Adaptation. What is the way forward? How can we get over that issue? If you get extreme events of climatic extremes like rainfall or drought, what can we do with adaptations, and what are those things that we are talking about? So these three issues, I believe the Congress will look at. Because at the next Congress, after 5 years, we have to get answers to these questions. Then we don't have to say at that time that adoption rate is very poor in agroforestry. That is not contributing to anything else. It is not giving money, not making the farmers rich. They are always poor farmers. They are always marginal farmers. That is what we don't want to do. If it is going to work in any way, then these questions, Dr. Simons, has to be answered. Thank you very much.